from Kitty Hawk to Cape Kennedy. NASA, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, presents Aeronautics and Space Report.
The rendezvous mission performed by the crews of Gemini 7 and 6 was an all-important maneuver to the success of the first Apollo moon flights. In Gemini 8, the next two-man space flight, the astronauts will not only attempt to rendezvous, but to dock like this. Command pilot for the two-day flight, Neil Armstrong. As all the astronauts do, Armstrong spends much of his time in training. Because of his background as a NASA research pilot, he also test flies all types of aircraft as possible trainers for the other astronauts. This is co-pilot David Scott. An expert on interplanetary navigation, Scott handles problems relating to the development of guidance and navigation. During Gemini 8, he will attempt a 90-minute spacewalk, a complete orbit of the Earth while outside the craft. Rendezvous and docking, and a walk in space. If successful, the Gemini 8 team of Armstrong and Scott will add even more knowledge to our exploration of space. The objective of astronomy is to better understand the origin and evolution of the universe. Presently, astronomers depend largely on Earth-bound telescopes, which must bore through the haze of 50 miles of the Earth's atmosphere. Soon to be launched, however, an orbiting astronomical observatory. Its telescopes and recorders will be hurled into orbit nearly 500 miles above the Earth. Paddle-like solar panels store energy from the sun to operate its systems. An onboard command tells the spacecraft to slowly turn until it locks on a predetermined star pattern. A sunshade opens and a telescope looks out into space. A telescope so steady it can fix on an object the size of a tennis ball 100 miles away. When aligned with a ground control station, OAO can transmit up to 200,000 pieces of data during a few seconds of radio contact. The goal of OAO is to develop an observatory in space for continuous use by astronomers. Because it will help measure and map the universe, we may someday better understand how matter and energy interact to create the elements, the stars, and the galaxies. This is Cape Kennedy, Florida, focal point for projects Mercury, Gemini, and a host of unmanned space missions. But just to the west of the Cape, in what once was partially swampland, the world's first operational spaceport is under construction. It is designed to meet requirements for Apollo missions to the moon and beyond. Just 3 years ago, this was the scene at NASA's Kennedy Space Center on Merritt Island. Today, there stands one of the largest structures in the world, the 52-story high Vehicle Assembly Building. Inside the 10-acre structure, the Saturn V moon rocket and Apollo spacecraft will be joined together and checked out in an upright position on top of one of these mobile launchers. The launcher will then be picked up and carried 3 miles to Pad 39 by a giant crawler transporter. As big as a baseball infield, the crawler is capable of propelling itself, the Saturn Apollo vehicle, and mobile launcher at a top speed of 1 mile an hour. Its combined weight, 17 million pounds. Kennedy Space Center, 3 short years ago, a blueprint. Today, a reality in the preparation for manned lunar landings.
This has been an Aeronautics and Space Report, presented by NASA, the National Aeronautics and Space Administration.